Hi again, everyone. In this video, I'm just going to do a couple of examples of advanced searches in the African American newspapers database. So here we are on the opening screen once again of the database, and there are two links here where you can access the advanced search screen, right here and right here. They both lead to the same place, so let's just click one. And here we are on the advanced screen, and you can see that we have some options here. We can enter search terms here and select a field from the drop-down menu here. We can enter search terms and use AND to combine terms to search. I'm going to do two example searches, one using a specific field and one using and plus some ORs to try to isolate the kind of information that I'm looking for. So first let's use the drop-down box to search for a headline. Let me just go ahead and put that in now. I'm specifically interested in finding information about the first African American Congresswoman elected to Congress for New York's 12th District in 1968, Shirley Chisholm. And I'm choosing headlines here because I'm interested in articles that are focused on her specifically, not that just mention her, but mention her as the main subject of the article. So here I've got Shirley Chisholm. I remembered to put my quotation marks around her name. And again, I've selected headline from the drop-down menu from the field options. And I'm just going to press go and see what I come up with. What kinds of articles will I find about Shirley Chisholm? Either being elected to Congress or running for president or anything else. And here I can see exactly what I was looking for from 25 results. The first one, Shirley Chisholm, first Black woman to Congress. Here she's speaking at a college, Miss Shirley Chisholm, Congressman Chisholm at Carroll College. Letters from her to the Milwaukee Star and the Rockford Crusader. And a couple articles from 72 about her run for the presidency. So lots of good stuff mentioning Shirley Chisholm in the headline of the article. Let's just click on this first one to see what it looks like once again, to kind of give us a bit of orientation to the database. Here, of course, it's going to bring up the article itself. Interesting here is that we have the name of the journalist who wrote it, which could also be something to search for if you are interested in the work of Black journalists. But also here we can see that this article was on the first page of this edition of the Crusader, which is pretty cool, suggesting that the election of Miss Chisholm was a landmark event, which it was. And we'll find that the article has a pretty prominent position on the first page. Let's zoom out a bit. And we can see it down here underneath the headline article here. And if we double click on it, it'll bring the article back up again. So you can use the headline field to kind of do more of a targeted subject search if you're looking for articles in which the person or event or topic that you're searching for was mentioned in the headline, suggesting its importance to the writer of the article or the editor of the paper. I'm going to go back now to advanced search and look for an interesting type of article that might inspire you, and that is information wanted. I got this idea from the Readex blog. Information wanted articles, or advertisements really, often showed people looking for family members So during the time of slavery in the United States, black families were often broken up by slaveholders, and people wanted to find each other. So we can do information wanted, and then let's look for specific family members using the or expander. So I can do mother or father or sister or brother or son or daughter. And I could add on to that, all the different types of family members, aunts, uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers. But let's just leave it here with the nuclear family members to see what comes up for information wanted. I'm going to click on go, and then we're going to find newspaper articles from a little bit further back in time. You can see 1849 here. And notice a lot of these are going to be advertisements again because it's information wanted. The first few are not relevant for our needs, but then here we start to get some where names are mentioned. Here we go. So now we can start to get a sense of who people were looking for. Let's have a look at this from the Black Republican, April 29th, 1865. That's the year that the Civil War ended. This is a newspaper from New Orleans, Louisiana. So let's have a look and see what kind of information is in this advertisement. And actually here we get a lot of information wanted. Or 2 information wanted articles on one page, so that's neat. If we zoom in, we can see who was wanted. Evans Green desires to find his mother, Mrs. Phyllis Green, whom he left in Virginia some years ago. She belonged to old Squire Cook of Winchester, whose son was an attorney at law. And then any information respecting her will thankfully be received. Address his paper. So the whereabouts of the people searching were often protected because those who knew any information would send it to the paper, who would then contact the person who submitted the ad. Here's another one. Robert F. West seeks to find the whereabouts of his 2 sisters, Mrs. Sarah Carter and Mrs. Emily Thompson, who belonged to a Mr. Grubbs near Waterford, Virginia. So some former slaves there. And then Mrs. Louisa Stewart seeks to find her son Joseph Nelson, who belonged to Mr. McMahon, Cypress Oric, something. So these information wanted ads give you a good idea of how people were trying to find each other during the time of slavery and during the Civil War and after its end, and bring their families back together again. And that would be a great, interesting topic for more advanced research. And you can see by using the advanced search, we can kind of narrow it down to family members here. And also you notice that when we were looking at the articles, there was mention of belonged to. So that could also be a search term that you could try. Belonged to, we saw in a couple of articles. So I could enter it up here. I could even add a row. You can put or right here and then put the belonged to, just to get maybe a more narrow search of people who were former slaves. And put go. See how much it narrows it down. We've got 536. And it's the same, 536. I don't know if I arranged those correctly, but in any case, it's a good area to search. So that was just 2 searches, one doing a field search and then one adding ors and ands in a single search, plus quotation marks to try to narrow something down to a certain set of information. So hopefully you found that helpful and were a little bit inspired with some possible topics for a research project.